Setting. Setting is the time, the geographical location, and the general environment that prevails in a story. The setting helps establish the mood of a story. What uses are there for settings? Well, first of all, one use might be to serve as a mirror. It reflects the mood or the feelings of a character. For example, how might the setting be a mirror for Yoda in the swamps of Dagobah? The setting might reinforce the theme. The physical setting may reinforce a central theme of a story. For example, a character in a harsh setting might reinforce the theme of survival or loss of home. How might the setting of District 12 shed light on Katniss in the Hunger Games? And thirdly, setting also helps establish the time. The historical period, the time of the year, and the time of day are important features of setting. For example, a story that takes place at night may create the atmosphere of mystery or even have some violence mixed in. Let's consider the setting in the famous poem The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. Ah, distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my books a crease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. So we see here that the dark night of December adds to this mystery of something foreboding that is bad, that's about to happen. And finally, the setting might relate something about the character and his or her social situation, social ladder. The social setting may play a role in the story. In many novels and stories, the characters are presented as products of their social class. And many times an author will explore the themes of conformity or rebellion against the values of a specific setting. For example, one of my favorite stories is Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn. And Mr. Twain uses the young boy Huckleberry's social setting to make a great point in this story. Many great points. For example, in chapter 31 of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Huck states, "It was a close place. I took it up and held it in my hand. I was trembling because I had got to decide forever between two things, and I knowed it. I studied a minute, sort of holding my breath, then says to myself, all right then, I'll go to hell," and tore it up. Now you might be wondering, what does that have to do with setting? Well, in the book, Huckleberry comes from a very abusive father, and he was raised all his life with the institution of slavery. And if one helps free a slave, they are a no good, rotten abolitionist, or someone who wants to end slavery. And in this, Huck even thinks that if one helps a runaway slave, he will go to hell. Well, in the course of the story, he develops a friendship with a friend, a runaway by the name of Jim. And Huck is at this moment where he can turn Jim in or save Jim. And Huck says, I'll go turn my back against my society, my social upbringing, and I will help this fellow human being. And the setting helps push that point across. So look for setting the next time you read a story or novel. Bye-bye.